started our trip adventure with our travel trailer and truck 2.5 weeks ago. We almost ran out of gas on a snowy mountain, and we adventured the Four Corners in Page, Arizona, right? That's what we talked about?
Yeah.
And then we ended that first video on our arrival at the Grand Canyon.
Yes, the Grand Canyon.
The Grand Canyon, the big hole in the ground.
It's a big fucking hole.
That was your most exciting thing, right? That's what you were like, yes.
That's the biggest thing that I was anticipating, at least. That was definitely, it's been on the bucket list for a very long time. Always wanted to go there, never had the opportunity to. Yeah, it just sounds awesome. You really don't get any perspective when looking at a photo or anything. It's fucking huge. Pretty cool.
So when we were there, we took a couple of classes, and one of the rangers told us how long it was. Do you remember the numbers? It was like 277 river miles, I'm going to say.
I'll take your word on it.
That's a big canyon. They never told us how deep it was.
No, which I thought was interesting, but it's a long way down. I wanted to take a rock and throw it off the ledge just to see, but I also got very scared the closer I got to the edge. I've never been afraid of heights. I always enjoy going as close to the edge as humanly possible.
What do you usually do at the edge?
I like to urinate off the side of a cliff any chance I have.
And what was that like at the Grand Canyon?
I couldn't do it. Not only because there were a lot of people around that, you know.
It wasn't the people.
It wasn't the people. No, I couldn't even get 5 feet close to the edge. I was just an absolute nervous wreck.
That's not like you.
No, not at all. Even just watching you get closer, I was I was nervous, to say the least.
There were multiple spots where there were like ledges that I wanted to travel out onto, because why not? And there was one time where we were by like the hiking trail, and I heard a girl looking at people who were out on a ledge, and she was like, oh my god, I can't believe they're crazy, look at them. And I was like, well, that means that I want to go down there now. So we both walked down to the ledge, and like when you change your perspective, it's not scary. You're just walking on normal land.
Looking from her vantage point of those people, I understood her reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, once we walked down there, it was like, oh, there's like another couple ledges below them that are quite large. So even if you fell off of that one ledge that you were sitting on,
there's something right there to catch you.
You're gonna, you're gonna fall 10 feet. It might not feel good, but it's not like you're going that 300-foot drop and just splat.
I thought it was an interesting metaphor on life, because it has to do with perspective, right? When you see someone else doing something crazy, they look crazy. There's no way I could do that. But then you take the small little steps to get to where they are, and then it's fine. It's no big deal. What was your favorite part about the Grand Canyon?
The favorite part was probably the night sky.
That's right.
We went to some astronomy viewing, where they had telescopes set up, and they had like a guy with a laser pointer that was super fucking bright. That was really cool. I want to know what he had, because I want it. But yeah, he was pointing out all the different constellations and everything, and while we were doing that, everybody's staring up at the night sky. It was a new moon too, by the way.
Yep.
So extra dark. You can see like the cluster of the Milky Way. Just absolutely beautiful. Also got to see a couple of shooting stars.
You got to see a couple.
I got to see a few.
I only caught one. I don't know how I only caught one.
That was the second best one. You didn't miss too much.
I didn't know that the Grand Canyon was a dark sky park, but that was pretty cool. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm paying attention to people.
You're wonderful. I didn't know that that was a thing, but it was really nice that they care so much about getting rid of light pollution, because even at our wild camp spot,
That
we
was
got
awesome.
to see some really nice stars there as well.
Absolutely. That was a really cool. It's probably the darkest sky that I've ever seen, which was really awesome. Being able to, in Chicagoland area, being able to find the Big Dipper, like, without even blinking an eye, to having to filter through all of the stars just to find where's your North Star, where, trying to get your bearings was interesting. That was super cool.
I'm trying to think if there was anything else at the Grand Canyon that was cool. We took those 3 ranger classes, which was nice.
It was interesting.
I thought it was going to be a bunch of kids, but there were no kids. It was all adults.
Yeah.
They were free classes. The first one was about how the Grand Canyon was formed. How was the Grand Canyon? By a river, right?
It was by a river, but there was also something else, like it was like it's erosion, between erosion and the freeze and thaw.
Yes.
That was a big portion of it. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was cool.
It was fun. And then we also learned about the sound of the place, the sound and how that affects all the animals and all the wildlife and stuff.
Yeah.
If you go to the Grand Canyon, take the ranger classes. I recommend it. They were only like 30 minutes long, but it was interesting just to hear someone teach about the place. Because yeah, you can look and be like, oh, this is a cool landscape, but whatever, you don't know. And then there was a really cool watchtower that I was kind of drawn to. This watchtower, we saw it right when we got to the Grand Canyon. It was at the first look point. And there's some lady, I forgot her name, I keep forgetting her name, Mary something, and she designed the whole thing, and she created all the artwork inside. It was pretty cool.
It was really cool. They had like all the handrails wrapped in like leather. They had the Beetlejuice markings along the
The ceiling.
I say that it was caution for tall people.
I thought it was art. It was very cool, very like Aztec-y feel. We watched, we saw wild moose at the Grand Canyon. Elk. They were elk. I doubt you can see anything in this photo right here, but I did put a couple shorts on my channel. There's some YouTube shorts of the wild elk walking around the Grand Canyon. That was a sight to see. There was like a handful of people pulled over on the side of the road. That was pretty cool.
They're huge.
And one of them had his antlers. That was fun to see in real life. We watched a sunset and a sunrise at the Grand Canyon. Those were pretty beautiful.
Spectacular. The sunrise, I think, I liked a little bit better, but maybe that's because I was just so tired.
There's Matt and Piston at the sunrise. We took Piston to the sunrise with us. He got a little antsy towards the end and started barking at people. He can be really intimidating when he barks, so I don't know. It was fun. I have a video of the sunset, like driving away from the sunset on my channel, and then I have a time lapse of the Grand Canyon sunrise on my channel, so check those out. Those were super cool. We stayed in the Grand Canyon 2 nights.
We did.
Yeah, because we got there around sunset.
And that was also the night that the first night that the battery ran out. Because the heat turned off.
I forgot about that. You want to tell that story?
I mean...
If you guys just jumped on, we're towing a travel trailer, by the way.
So there's only one battery on the travel trailer, which is suffice. I mean, you don't really need too much, but when we were boondocking for 2 days and
No electrical hookup.
no electric hookup, we didn't tow anywhere in between those 2 days, so the battery didn't get recharged.
The little things you don't think about until you're in the moment.
I did run the truck for a while when we got back to the campsite, just to hopefully boost a little bit of the juice, which probably got us to the morning, like 4 a.m. style. But yeah, it started getting progressively cooler inside the trailer. And there's also like an audible beep of, hey, your battery's dead. You might want to do something about that, or else you're not going to have any heat. So furnace cut out a couple of different times.
It didn't get that cold. It was maybe like 55 in the trailer.
It was chilly.
It was chilly.
And for someone that had to get out from underneath the covers to start the vehicle and go outside to start the vehicle and get some battery back in the system,
Yeah.
it was cold. It was like 30 degrees outside. The water bottle was frozen.
Oh my God. Yeah, this has been a pretty cold trip. Didn't think that the Southwest in the end of October, it's still fall. I thought it would be a lot warmer than 30. It's been cold and rainy in Southwest. We brought the rain everywhere we went to. That was...
And the snow.
And it snowed, yeah. So we left the Grand Canyon. I don't remember what time of day, but that's when we started heading for Sedona, yes?
Yes.
And I used my good friend, ChatGPT, to ask what was going on in Sedona. If you guys are new to the channel, if you don't know me, I'm a woo-woo person. I'm a spiritual advisor and all that fun stuff. So all of my followers were like, go to Sedona. It's the spiritual capital of the world. There's energy vortexes. It's the place to go. I'm also an ecstatic dancer. And people were like, oh, there's ecstatic dance in Sedona for you. So I used ChatGPT and I asked like, hey, what's going on in Sedona tonight? And the thing that caught my eye was the Dia de los Muertos festival at Tlaquepaque. I probably pronounced that terribly, but we went to the Dia de los Muertos festival at Tlaquepaque. It's, how would you describe that place? It's like a little market. It's like a built-in
Outdoor market, yeah.
And they had a bunch of vendors and live music and a big celebration, and that was fun.
It was a cool place too. Just the building, how they had like a little courtyard in the middle with trees growing and everything. It was really cool.
I had just watched the movie Encanto for the first time, like 2 weeks before this, and if you guys have never seen Encanto, is that what it's even called? I might be saying it wrong. I think it is. It looks just like the house in that Disney cartoon Encanto, but it was fun. It was fun to hear the live music, see the people dancing, and then that night we went to a Mexican restaurant because we wanted to indulge in Mexican food after being around the music and everything all day. And that was the first time ever that we shared a drink together.
Oh yeah.
It was fun. It was an interesting experience. Oh yeah. But that was after we met Chuck.
Chuck was a cool guy.
So we went to that Dia de los Muertos. Across the street, there's this big crystal shop. It's called like the New Age something. And it looked really cool. So we went and we walked around that crystal shop for a little bit. Didn't find anything to take home with us. And then we continued walking back to the car. And there was a place, Crystal Gratitude. That's the name of the shop in Sedona. We saw it as we were walking in, and I noticed it, and I was like, man, I want to go there. So we stopped in on the way back to the truck, and there was an older guy working, maybe in his 60s, early 60s.
Sure.
And when we walked in, he was talking to another customer. So me and Matt did the loop around the store. There was one thing that kind of caught my eye. I had never seen Creedite before. Have you ever heard of Creedite? I didn't. And then we like did our loop, and then the other customers left. And the guy who was working came up to us, and do you remember, was it anything magical, like right away, or? real chatty, real nice.
Super nice, super chatty. He did, I want to say, I think the first thing that he was saying was, so did you pick this up?
Yes, and he pulled me back over to the Greek night. And I feel like I have a pretty good read on people like this. I didn't think he was trying to sell me anything. It really didn't feel like it. It really truly felt like he was like, there's something for you in this stone. So he like put one in my hand and he's like, just go walk around the store with it. Just go do it. And whatever. He could have been using his salesman tactics. I really don't think he was. But then we asked him what the stone was all about. And the first thing that came out of his mind was, or that came out of his mouth was, it's to balance your masculine and feminine energies. And that is something that came up twice within like the day or two prior to all of that. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And he said some other stuff that seemed like cool about the stone. So I just held on to it. I didn't know if I was going to get it yet. But then Chuck asked us where we're from and how long we're going to be in town for. And we gave the, no, I don't know. We're just kind of traveling around. And
Winging it.
We're winging it. And he lit up. He's like, oh, you're travelers? I did that for 10 years. I lived in the bed of my truck and I traveled around with nothing and it was wonderful. And it was just such a quick connection because it does take a certain type of person to live this way full time. It's like you get it. You get each other. So we connected with Chuck. Matt ended up buying me that stone. And I also got this serpentine bracelet there as well. Serpentine was all about like protection while you're traveling, freedom, adventure, all that kind of stuff. So that was nice. And then Chuck also, when we were checking out, he just wouldn't shut the fuck up. He just kept talking to us and he kept telling us things about us and like things about our travel. And he was clearly reading our energy very well.
The man was spot on.
So I am a woo-woo person. Matt,
I am not.
Matt was normal a few months ago. So what was that like to have someone tell you everything about yourself?
It was weird. Again, I don't know how he was doing it, but every sentence that was coming out of the man's mouth was like, oh, I've known you for the last 20 years. He was just magically spot on. Knew more about me, her, than I do. And I still can't comprehend most of it. It was special.
And then he reached into his pocket and he had a handful of stones and he told us each to put our hands out and he like just dropped a stone in my hand, dropped a stone in Matt's hand, and then he asked us like, oh, and how does that feel or whatever, and he essentially gifted us both little stones and they felt very just magical and purposeful and it felt really nice. So thank you, Chuck, from Crystal Gratitude in Sedona. You're the shit. And then I think it was when we were out to dinner, or maybe like the next day, is when Matt brought up that might be a cool thing to do while we are traveling, is to find cool people like that and then interview them. Who are you? How did you end up here? Why do you live this kind of lifestyle? That kind of stuff. So let me know in the comments if that's something that you would like to see from me, if that would be interesting. Anything else about that night? Did we stay? Yeah, we stayed at Lolo Mai that night.
Yeah. Was that the first night? That was the first night.
That was the first night.
Yeah.
So while we were in Sedona, Matt's coworker had just stayed in Sedona in his travel trailer a couple weeks prior, and he told us about this RV park called Lolo Mai Springs. So we stayed there, and it was really nice. It was off the main highway. We had absolutely zero cell reception when we were there. So honestly, as someone who works on my phone and my computer 24/7, all of my work is online, it was fucking freeing to know that like I can't check my text, I can't check my email, I just have to live. Like, oh my god, thank you. It was like I finally had a day off. That's how it felt. Driving into Lolo Mai Springs, there's a little farm, so that was fun every time we left and came back to see little animals.
See the alpacas,
Mm-hmm.
mini horses.
Mm-hmm. That was fun. And there's a creek that runs through that resort, which in the middle of the Arizona desert is unheard of. So that's pretty fun.
It was really nice. Super clear water, too.
If the weather was nicer, we could have swam in the creek.
I really wish it was. Warmer.
Yeah, me too. We brought, how many pairs of shorts did you bring on this trip?
I brought like 4 fucking pairs of shorts. How many did I wear?
I think,
No one.
You did wear one. I feel like it was just for like a couple hours.
Yeah, it was a very short period of time.
Yeah, it's been a cold trip. But Lolomai Springs, when we first got there, we walked the creek just to go explore and check it out, and then we found a swing. There was a tree swing. It was like a log on rope attached to the tree branch, and I got on it first, and I was having fun, whatever.
Dropped your glasses.
My brand new glasses fell off my face and I scratched them, so oops. But luckily, that's why I ordered 3 pairs of glasses. If you need new glasses, I buy direct. If you know your prescription. Yeah, I love I buy direct. I got 3 pairs of glasses for $100. This is one of them, so cool. Yeah, I scratched 1 pair, but I happened to have the other 2 pair with me, so that was nice. And then that was truck night, and then we came back to the trailer, and then the next day was shopping ecstatic dance.
Ecstatic dance, yeah.
So that was a Sunday. We went to an ecstatic dance in Sedona at Sun Moon Studio, something like that. And this was Matt's second ever actual ecstatic dance, well, third.
Technically.
So Matt's pretty new to the scene. I am also pretty new to the ecstatic dance scene. I just started in June, but like I've been going like once a week, so I've been to a bunch. And this little community felt great. There was something about this little group of people at this Sun Moon Studio in Sedona. If you've ever been to an ecstatic dance, I've noticed that there are usually like little pockets of people, and there's people that like want to just dance by themselves, there's people who want to dance with partners, there's people who are there to, I don't know, just close their eyes and do whatever. But this Sedona group, it felt like everyone was super united. It was pretty cool. I liked it. What did you think of the ecstatic dance?
It was interesting. Again, new to all of it, so kind of weird in a way, but very welcoming, very accepting group. It's kind of the cool thing about ecstatic dance is you get away from your head, you get out of your thoughts, you just do as you please. And they were all very, very nice, friendly people, and I never felt like eyes gazing at me, through me, so it was freeing in a way.
If you're unfamiliar with ecstatic dance, it's a group of weird hippie people. I'm included. It could be a normal person too, like Matt's a normal guy. But the ecstatic dance is like a flow playlist, and it's usually more primitive, tribal type music, free flowy music, and it has a nice curve, a nice flow to it. You come up, you hit your peak, come down, but it's just an opportunity to freely express whatever your body wants to express. So that's what ecstatic dance is. There's little communities all over the place. I'm all about it. Check it out if it sounds interesting. After Sedona ecstatic dance, that was our shopping day. That was the day I wished I would have emptied my life savings into my wallet before we walked around Sedona. There's just fun, like, not only crystal shops, but there's like fun Sedona souvenir shops. I thought there was a lot of cool stuff in Sedona.
Just going through all the shops, it was very entertaining seeing all the, hippie-esque things, but also just Sedona things, Western things. I've always kind of been a fan of the Southwest feel, vibe, look. So I even got lost in a lot of the shops.
Cowboy shops.
Yeah.
Native shops.
They had some cool knives. I'm kind of regretting some of my decisions, but I did not buy a knife. I'm sad.
What did you say about that brand? they claim, a lot of places claim to have that brand for real cheap. There was some, you said that a lot of the shops, you weren't trying to shit on them, but a lot of the shops had a certain style of knife, a certain brand, and they were selling them real cheap, and you're like, if that was actually the brand, would it
Oh, the Damascus steel. Yeah, they had like Damascus, quote unquote, Damascus steel knives that were like $20. It's like, they're labeled as like handcrafted Damascus steel, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna be like a $200 knife if that's actually true. But they looked cool, don't get me wrong. They could have been real Damascus, but you know, they definitely were not handmade, hand done. You know, they looked cool. I wanted one. I didn't buy one.
What else did you get in Sedona? What are the first couple things you bought for yourself in Sedona?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Normal Matt is turning into a hippie man. We got him a malachite bracelet and a hematite bracelet.
With a couple dingleberries that kind of pissed me off.
So now he's rocking the crystals. He's wearing the crystals. Now, how do you feel about being a crystal man?
I don't know. It's interesting. It's a new way of life, I guess.
You feel like your whole life has changed now that you wear crystals on your body?
Yes.
That was something. Okay, so at Ecstatic Dance, that was before you had those bracelets.
Yeah.
And you were making an observation.
I was the only person in that entire place that did not have a bracelet on. Let alone, I think I was the only person wearing a watch. But I did have my hippie pants on.
You did have your hippie pants.
I was very proud of those.
Those are Ecstatic Dance pants. I don't even remember what I searched on Amazon to buy those. Thank you. Okay, so Sedona shopping. Downtown Sedona is really just a bunch of shops. If you are coming from the south to go up to Sedona, be prepared to sit in traffic for 45 minutes. It took us an hour to make a 15-minute drive.
That was stupid.
I don't know what it is about that Sedona traffic, but it's only going north. So if you're coming from Sedona from another direction, you should be okay. But yeah, that was surprising. And finding parking in downtown Sedona also was kind of a nightmare. It's a small little town. We were born and raised near Chicago, so like we're used to Chicago. It was a tiny little town, but it was packed.
It was beautiful. I liked it a lot.
Me too. So we went, that was Sunday that we did all the shopping, and then on Monday was when we went to Sunday we did Cathedral Rock, because that was for sunset.
Yes.
So after we went shopping a bit on Sunday in Sedona, we went to Cathedral Rock, and we took Piston. We took my big boy Piston, my 100-pound husky mix, to Cathedral Rock. And the photos for that haven't transferred to my iPad yet, so I can't show you guys photos from Cathedral Rock. But we got there maybe at like 3 o'clock, 3:30, and we started hiking around. Again, Piston isn't the best with people at first. Like, he needs to get warmed up to people to be nice with them. So we took him up Cathedral Rock, and it was really big and vast at first, so he was having a great time. And then it gets really narrow and really steep. Gorgeous hike, fun ass hike, but we got to this spot where you had to like literally shimmy yourself in this crevice that was maybe 6 inches wide. Piston could have done it if there was no one there, but he was just barking at everything that walked by him. So Matt was like, I want you to go up to the top, and I was like, no, you have to go up to the top. Okay, fine. So Matt started walking Piston down, and I walked myself up Cathedral Rock, and I only made it a little bit of the way, and I'm like, this is lonely. I want to hike with my people. I don't want to be by myself. So I came back down, and I met them at the bottom-ish of Cathedral Rock, and we were looking at the time, and Matt's like, we have enough time to throw Piston in the truck, run up to Cathedral Rock, and go see the sunset. So that's exactly what we did, and that was fun. and we hauled ass to get up there, and we made it up to the peak of Cathedral Rock pretty much just in time. Let me see if I have a picture of that. Do you have anything to say about Cathedral Rock?
Definitely kind of a tight hike. It was up in altitude. I want to say it was like 5,000 feet-ish, thereabouts. Probably at the base, and then you work your way up. So, huffing and puffing. And by that time, after shopping all day and hiking halfway up and then hiking back down to run back to the top, my legs were becoming jelly. So when we made it to the summit, I was definitely happy to sit and rest for a period of time. I've always been like been the leader while hiking and, getting to the top. Jackie blew me out of the water. She definitely got up there a lot quicker and easier than I did. I was starting to struggle as we got closer to the top, but we made it. We found a nice little ledge to kind of sit and watch the sunset, uninterrupted by people sitting in front of us. So
there is a time-lapse video on my channel of the Cathedral Rock sunset if you want to see that. That was really pretty. I liked that.
It was cool seeing I'm pretty sure they were spider webs going from one peak to another peak. And, I mean, the distance between them was fast. It was crazy. But yeah, you could visibly see these very thick webs, and then you'd see them randomly like floating in the air. And it was cool.
If anyone knows what animal, insect, spider thing those came from in Arizona, let us know, because I'm very curious what is capable of being literal Spider-Man to go from peak to peak across these rocks. It was a big distance. So we were watching the sunset, and the thought that went through my mind was, this is going to be a mad rush down the mountain afterwards. Like, once sunset is over, all these slopes are going to be in my way. And so the sun set, and I had my time-lapse video going, and I didn't want to leave right away. So we did wait a moment, but then everyone else seemed to just chill. So we got to be like the second ones down, which was really nice. I thought it was going to get darker faster, to be honest. I thought it was going to get colder faster than it really did. So that was kind of nice. And that's when we started having the thought of like, oh, we can share this kind of journey. So Matt started recording me descending Cathedral Rock. So those videos are all up on my channel. You can see what it looks like to go down the mountain, rock formation. I keep calling it a mountain. It's not a mountain. I don't know. But then there is, actually, I want to give Matt some kudos because he was my cameraman, right? So he's holding my camera, half watching the camera, half watching what the hell he's doing, climbing down this dangerous cliff. And there was a spot, I don't know grade, I would give it at least 70 degrees where that little like sneaky spot was. I was crab walking with my feet and my butt and my hands, and he's just walking down on his feet with the camera, keeping the camera on me. He's a mountain goat, so that was fun.
Shout out to Tiva. Love your sandals.
So that was the end of our night, and we went back to sleep that night, and then Bell Rock. Did we just go right to Bell Rock the next morning? Yeah, we got there pretty early, like 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that was our first stop.
Yes. Yes, we went to Bell Rock the next day, and Bell Rock, we got some great piston the whole time. Bell Rock was much more vast, had more space. There wasn't like a designated trail. You could just venture around wherever you want to go and check it out. Let me see if I have pictures of Bell Rock. I don't. I have no Sedona pictures on this iPad. I don't know why they didn't transfer. But Bell Rock was cool. It was less steep. We got to just kind of explore and figure out where we want to go. I really enjoyed, so being from the Midwest, anytime I go hike, there's like a designated hiking trail. This is where you go. This is the path you have to take. if you veer off path, you're gonna get ticks all over you, right? But whatever. But here, it was like super open. You could take whatever kind of path you wanted to take. So I had fun with that. And as we were venturing, there was one point that we got to a summit type thing, and there was like a way to go up, and I think Matt went up first to see what was past. It's the ledge where we ended up hanging out.
Oh,
I think you went up first, and you scoped it out, and you're like, well, it kind of stops here. And so I went up to check it out, and it was this super cool ledge on the top of Bell Rock in the sun. It was big enough for me, Matt, and Piston. If you guys haven't seen Piston yet, he's chilling back here. Super sleepy. The ledge was big enough for all three of us to go and hang out. So we set up camp on this little ledge, took some really cool pictures and videos. Matt carved our initials into the rock, so that was fun. It was actually pretty cool. So he carved our initials, and on the top of my M, Jackie Mancuso, there was a little thing at the top, and it just looked like a P for Piston. And I wasn't paying attention while Matt was carving. So I asked him, did you put a P for Piston? He was like, no, what are you talking about? And then he looked at the rock, and it was just so magical and so perfect that Piston got his name in the rock as well. That was fun. Anything else about Bell Rock?
I got to pee off the ledge.
You did get to pee off the ledge. That's where you redeemed yourself for being such a scaredy cat at the Grand Canyon, where all the railings were. Yeah, you peed off of Bell Rock, and I said, okay, this guy's not full of shit. Bell Rock is where Piston overcame one of his biggest fears. Yeah. Descending Bell Rock. Okay, so by the way, Matt had a hold of Piston the majority of the time. Oh, hello, I can see a comment. Who is this? Oh, Hasham, hi Hasham. Oh my gosh, I haven't listened to your, I haven't read your latest Facebook message yet. I'm so sorry. I've been driving around the country. Anyway, nice to see you. Piston was descending Bell Rock, and it was pretty steep, and this is the first time that Piston has been on these kinds of rock formations, so he was a little nervous. And what happened? You thought you were gonna have to pick him up at one point?
Oh yeah, the slope got. Sorry, there's.
He's paying attention. The slope got really. He's driving us. It was super steep, and Piston was like squatting down, super nervous, and Matt was like, "You can do it, buddy. You could do it," and he overcame his biggest fear. That was really nice, and you could definitely tell that Piston's confidence went up after overcoming such a big feat. There is a YouTube short of that on my channel, so if you want to see Piston being such a good boy and descending Bell Rock, that was fun. Sorry, it's super bumpy where we are. Thanks for the amazing roads, Indiana. Just kidding. After, I'm trying to think about Sedona. Yes, so there was, after Bell Rock, we were going to go to a wild camping road.
Wild camping at that point.
We were?
Yeah.
We dropped off our trailer
I guess that
on Forest Road, 689.
did some off-roading, little questionable area. Questionable in the sense of it got way too fucking bumpy and rocky, and I did not want to be there towing the travel trailer. I was afraid of ripping the black tank off of the trailer, ripping something apart. I don't own this trailer myself. This is a rental, technically. So, yeah, I didn't want to have any issues, but we went anyways. We got down to a couple of very, 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 very rocky, questionable area. I had to make a 3,000 point turn with the trailer and not jackknife and block the trail for a period of time.
I tried to I didn't realize until he was already halfway through the 1,000,000-point turn to turn around that I could have been time-lapse videoing it. So we didn't get to record that. I also was trying not to piss you off. We were in the middle of such an incredible task.
Thank you.
That was fun.
For some.
It was fun to watch. It had to have been such an amazing, accomplishing feel when you finished that.
Oh, when it was done, it was fantastic. But in the moment, I wanted to blow my brains out.
In the middle of that turnaround also, so at this, like, we were traveling down and Matt realized, like, okay, we have to turn around here. Like, we can't go any farther. There's a ravine. So he was in the middle of trying to turn around the whole truck and trailer setup. And this white pickup truck came and was trying to, like, drive through the street. And the guy got out and he was like, hey, do you guys need any help? And Matt's like, no, I think we're good. Oh, did you jackknife or something? And Matt's like, no, we're just trying to turn around. And the guy was like, oh, this is probably a really bad place to turn around. No
Duh.
shit. We don't have any other options. That was funny. And he just so happened to get there right at the time that Matt was going to detach the trailer. And oh, there's Kilo. And they're all walking in the line. That's so cute.
And horses.
And horses. This guy showed up right at the time that Matt was about to detach and move the truck out of the way anyway. So he got to pass through right away. Didn't have to sit there and watch us for too long. So that was fun. There are videos of us driving down Forest Road 689 if you want to see how bumpy, lumpy it was trying to tow this trailer down that way. And then one night we got back at pitch black. I don't know what the hell we were doing until the wee hours of the night, but we drove back to that wild camping spot and it was already pitch black. There's a video of that. I thought it was pretty cool.
That was from Castle Rock or Cathedral Rock back to
Belmont?
No, back to the campsite. We were camping the day that we went to Cathedral Rock. Yes.
Sure, everything's working together. I believe you.
I gotta pay attention.
After we went to Cathedral Rock and Bell Rock, then we went to Lover's Knoll. That was something that I just found on the map and it seemed pretty cool. And at the time, I had been sending pictures to my Taekwondo instructor, and he's like, oh, why don't you have any action shots? So we went to Lover's Knoll, and my trusty cameraman got some action shots of me doing some roundhouses and some side kicks and stuff, so that was fun. And was it from Sedona? Yes, okay. So when we were shopping in Sedona, we were walking around this photography shop, and it was a husband and wife who had all these photos for sale, all these prints. And in the shop, there was just a regular photograph of the wife standing next to this ginormous cactus. And I looked at it, and I just made the comment, like, I've never seen a big cactus like that in real life. I've only ever seen, like, the little succulents. Matt was in the same boat. So we asked the lady where she saw this cactus, and she said, oh, well, you can drive an hour down 17 and go see cacti like this, but that one was in Tucson. So we said, okay, I guess our next destination is Tucson because we want to go see cacti. So that's right, that was the night. After camping, after hiking, we were so tired, we took a nap in the trailer. I felt like we kept trying. We didn't keep trying to leave Sedona, but anytime we thought about leaving Sedona, she would, like, suck us in. And that day, we were so tired. We were like, all right, we'll just lay down for 5 minutes. And then we ended up sleeping for probably an hour, maybe hour and a half, I don't know. But we ended up leaving our campsite at dusk, which is opposite. We've been trying to get to our camping spots still with some sunlight so we can see what we're doing when Matt is backing up the trailer and whatnot. So we were a little like, okay, I wish we weren't leaving at sundown, but we just we headed towards Tucson. And that night, like, there was a reason we left at sundown, because the Arizona sunset was the most gorgeous sunset I have ever seen, and the sky was lit up with those colors for at least an hour. It was the longest, most beautiful sunset we've ever seen. There are pictures of it on my Instagram. There's a video of it on my shorts here on YouTube. It was wonderful. So So we were heading towards Tucson, and then I pulled out my iOverlander app to see where we were going to stay for the night. And I was just looking around the area, and I found a town in Arizona called Cactus Forest. So if we're going to go see cacti, why not go to Cactus Forest? So we decided that that sounded like a good idea. So we headed that way. And at that point, it was probably 8, 9 p.m. It was late. It was dark. We didn't know where we were, obviously. Very open desert land. And so we were driving through this big open desert, and Matt looks over and he was like, is that a correctional facility? It's pitch black, right? You can't really see. So I looked it up on Google Maps, and oh shit, that is a giant correctional facility. And we, at that point, were less than 30 minutes away from our camping spot, and that's when the fear set in. I'm going to this new, scary, strange place in the middle of the night, and we're by a bunch of convicted felons. And that was like a legit fear for a minute. But then we both kind of realized, like, what are the odds that someone's going to escape tonight? And then Matt brought up a good point just today, that what are the odds that someone is going to walk through the brush to get to where we are? So it was just a fun little fear thing. But every road that day that we had to turn down just so happened to be closed. We approached 4 or 5 road closures, and so we had to keep rerouting. It was already pitch black. We were tired. We just wanted to find this spot and go to bed. And eventually, after like the 4th or 5th road closure, I'm like, just drive through the fucking road. Just go. Like, there's no construction. I don't know why it's closed. Just go. So we went down this road to come to another road closure where we had to turn again. And how did it happen? We ended up on a sand pit. We ended up driving through a sand pit.
I was so nervous. I thought we were getting stuck for sure.
What even happened?
Well, the road, like, straight up barricades all the way across. Like, you can't go past this point. You see all the gravel and barricades and everything. There's no going back or going through this. So then they had, like, what looked like a road on the map, on Google Maps, and I was like, I don't know if that's, like, actually a cut through or not, but Jackie said, yeah, just go for it. And I just said, okay. And
it was probably 4 to 6 inches of sand.
It was way too deep. I thought we were getting stuck for sure. I was getting ready to kick it in a 4-wheel drive.
But we didn't get stuck.
We didn't get stuck. It put us right onto a, not new road, but a solid asphalt road.
A paved road.
Because we were on washboard for that journey for a short while too. And it ended up working out okay. There was a house that was having like a giant party.
Yeah. Live band, I want to say.
I was gonna say, yeah, live band. They even had like a projector set up outside with a video going. They were having a great time, that's for sure. And when we were on that road, it was like, all right, well, we're back on track. We can make it to this campsite. All right, let's keep our head down and keep pushing forward.
And we did. We made it exactly to where we thought we were going to go. The campsite that I found that night was on... You okay?
Yeah, this lake's going to be excellent. I'm fine. I'm just paying attention.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The campsite that we were heading for was going to be a little, like, turnaround on a lake, and I thought it would be really cute. So we made it to that place, but there was already a van camping there. So that is, I guess, if there's one downside to the iOverlander app, you just never know if someone else is going to have claimed the space that you're trying to go to. But we were able to find a replica sans the lake, like a 1/4 mile down the road. So we found a nice place in a cactus forest to park for the night. And it was late, it was dark. I just wanted to go to bed. I took Piston out. Let's see what Piston's doing again. Did you guys see him just a second ago? He came up to say hello. I took Piston out to use the bathroom. I'm from the Midwest. I forgot that cacti have pricklies on them. So we were walking around looking for a place for him to poop, because Piston has to poop in the tall grass. He can't poop anywhere unless he's covered in stuff. So he started limping, and we found a bunch of cactus pricklies in his paws. So we got him all cleaned up. The poor boy, he was a trooper. He did so well. But for reference, this is what, the glare isn't that bad. That's what the bottom of my shoes looked like. So I felt terrible that Piston had to walk through that. So after we got his feet all cleaned up, we learned our lesson. I luckily brought his rain boots with. They're just like plastic rubber boots. So he had those on any time that he went out other than that, and they helped. So that was nice. But we just went to bed that night in Cactus Forest, and then the next morning, me and Matt went out and we hiked around with the cacti for some time. Massive, this glare, massive cacti. I don't know if you could see me. I'm down there at the base, and then we have that giant cactus all the way up there. That was the first. Okay, we're back. Yeah, Cactus Forest was really nice. We walked around, we saw a whole bunch of different cacti. We found some cool rocks. We found some cool dead cactus bits and pieces. This is what cacti look like when they dry up. I thought it kind of looked like a snake, or like a stick, a branch. Huh?
You got a piece in your door.
I do have a piece in the door. I got a little piece in the door. I don't want to break it, but I want to show you. Here's the little piece of, dried up cacti. It's cool. It's very cool. It feels like driftwood. It's hollow. It's fun. We meditated in the Cactus Forest for a little bit. It was really nice. That having just these giant natural things, right? Like, I don't know, there's giant trees around us all the time, but it just felt different. It felt very protective and calming. Then after Cactus Forest, we were heading for Carlsbad. We were going to go to the caves in Carlsbad. And along the way, we saw a sign. Matt saw a sign for Tombstone, Arizona.
Tombstone? What happened in Tombstone?
What are you talking about?
Never mind.
I don't know what happened in Tombstone. You know what happened in Tombstone.
It's the Wild West. It's a beautiful area.
He got super excited. I had no idea what it was.
I got giddy like a little schoolgirl. So my nephew, his name is Wyatt, and he was named Wyatt based off of my brother and his wife watching the movie Wyatt Earp. And so Tombstone, Arizona, it's the pinnacle of the Wild West. Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid, all the Earp boys. I saw the sign for Tombstone and I got very giddy. I wanted to go. We were driving through it, and Carlsbad, we knew that the bats were pretty much done for the season. They've all flown south to Mexico for the year. Sorry, I need to kind of pay attention a little bit.
So we stopped off at Tombstone, Arizona. Here's a quick little video. I know that the what's it called? Reflection kind of sucks. You can see all those videos on my shorts. It was fun to be in such like a themed town, I guess you can say. It was very Wild West. There were some actors on the streets, and we pulled in, again, pretty late in the afternoon. I think we pulled in there at like 3:05. But as we were traveling towards Tombstone, there were signs on the road saying that there are live gunfights every day. And I saw that we were going to get there just after 3 o'clock, and I made the comment like, how cool would it be if their gunfight is at 3:30? So we got to Tombstone, we were walking Piston around, and the actors on the road started calling out, "Get ready for the gunfight." Are we in Illinois?
Welcome back to Illinois.
We're in our home state. The actors started calling out. Oh, wow, we're like real close to home then. Because we're by...
I gotta really kind of pay attention for a hot second.
Beautiful. The gunfight was at 3:30. So we threw Piston back in the truck and we paid the $10 tickets to go see this gunfight. And it was fun. It was in the Oriental Saloon, which has been standing since the 1800s, since the whole Wild West thing. And there were, 3 dudes, 3 actors, and they acted out 2 different stories based on true events, I think. I don't know. It was a comedy show. They asked the audience to, participate, laugh, clap, boo, cheer on your guy. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I don't know who these people are. I don't know the storylines. I was the only guy in the bar who was interacting. I would say there was maybe 20 people, 20 audience members.
It's probably generous, but yes.
So it was kind of, and if you've ever acted, if you've ever done anything in front of a live audience, you really play off of that. And there wasn't much action, so I kind of felt bad for the guys. But we tipped them on the way out, and that was fun. And then that night, we did a little bit of shopping in the Wild West area. I tried on some cowboy hats. I was this close to buying an American cowboy hat.
You should have.
Should have. It looks so good.
I know.
It looks so good, but I was like, man, if I have this American cowboy hat, then every time I wear it, I'm going to have to wear something red, white, and or blue, and I don't have a lot of that. Whatever.
Would have matched your boots perfectly.
And then that night we used the iOverlander app again to find more BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land, and we got to see yet another beautiful Arizona sunset. That was pretty gorgeous. Set up camp that night, and was it that night that I started thinking, we have to get home soon. We are in the Southwest. We both have to be back at work on Wednesday in Chicagoland. We gotta skedaddle, we gotta get going. I think that's when I started to get a little bit nervous. Yeah, and that's when we started just kind of beelining. Where did we beeline it to? Why am I having a hard time remembering this?
Well, that's when we got stuck in Texas.
Texas! Yes!
We were trying to make it to something with an S.
We were going, to Sweetwater, Texas.
Sweetwater.
So at this point, we were like, all right, we got to skedaddle back to the Midwest, but we wanted to stop at the Ozarks, and we wanted to stop in Nashville to go see one of my friends. So we were just beelining. We were on I-20 in Texas. There was a spot on the road that was a lane closure, and so we were like, all right, cool, traffic's going to slow down for a little bit. All right, we've waited for half hour. Now it's been an hour. Now it's been 90 minutes. What the fuck is going on? And so both of us took our turns going back to the trailer to go pee. And then I started joking about, all right, maybe I'll just start making dinner now. So while Matt was sitting in the truck waiting to see if traffic was going to move, I hopped into the trailer. I threw on a YouTube live and I made tacos with you guys. And I shared a little bit of our journey so far. So that was a fun night. I think I want to wrap this up a little bit because we are approaching home. But we found a really cool camping spot in Arkansas using the iOverlander app. We were able to find a lake that was on a side road behind a rest stop, which was super interesting.
It was awesome.
Never would have thought to turn down that road.
That was so awesome. That was a perfect little gem.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, used to go into rest stops. Go into a rest stop just to grab some shut-eye, literally in the same parking spots as the semis. It's alright, it serves its purpose, but thanks to the iOverlander app, it showed us that there's an actual designated camp spot, several of them actually. You still take the same rest area exit, and then you just drive a little bit down the road that's got a gate, but it's open. And beautiful little camp spots. It was perfect.
There was a nice, gorgeous lake back there also. We essentially camped next to a lake. It was really nice, and I don't think there might have been one other person camping there that night. So that was a nice little surprise to find something that wasn't a rest stop while we were just like gunning it back as fast as we could. That was in Arkansas. Then in Arkansas we went to the Ozarks. I wish we could have spent more time in the Ozarks. At this point of the journey, we were like, all right, we gotta move on. We want to go here, we want to go to Nashville, we gotta get home. So in the Ozarks, we visited the Highway 123 waterfall, and then we also visited a trailhead called Kings Bluff and Pedestal Rocks. The Highway 123 waterfall was cute. Like, you can see it from the road. It's not a hike. You just pull off. There's a parking area across the street, and you can walk up to the waterfall. There's also a creek across the street that we got to go look at. That was really nice. Beautiful in the Ozarks. It was very mossy, very wet. It was raining and hazy that day. There was a lot of fog as we were driving into the Ozarks.
2 days of fog. I was over it. 2 nights in fog.
That's right. When we were approaching the Ozarks, it was a foggy night as well, and that's not
pitch black. No road signs, no road lights. It was literally in the middle of nowhere. Super tight roads that are very twisty turvy. Foggy as hell. I was nervous driving all those roads.
But still an adventure nonetheless, right?
It's always an adventure.
Always an adventure. Because why not? Just keep going. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm driving.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
After Highway 123, we went to... Oh, Piston! Piston went to the Highway 123 waterfall. Piston came with us to Kings Bluff and Pedestal Rocks. That was... Huh?
Came to Kings Bluff, not Pedestal.
He came with us to Kings Bluff. We got to the trailhead and we noticed that there were 2 separate loops. So we took Piston with us at first. We were walking through Kings Bluff where there was a waterfall, right? Yes. We walked up to the waterfall. We were above the waterfall and we got to walk along the stream to go up to where it started. And then we started to see some pedestal-esque rocks, and we thought that we had already gotten to the Pedestal Rock trailhead for some reason, but we didn't. So after we did the Kings Bluff, we dropped Piston off in the truck, and then Matt and I went back out to explore Pedestal Rock, and it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bunch of cool rock formations that just look like these really high pedestals, and it was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There were a lot of spots where there were cracks in the rock and you can like see the drop underneath you. That was pretty cool. That was pretty trippy. There was a few times that we like leapt over these gaps to go onto different rocks. And there was a point where adventurous Jackie could not get herself to step over a big break in the rock. And I was very surprised with myself that I couldn't get myself to do it. So
I did.
Matt had to go show me what's up. Matt went over and took the step over. And how was it?
It's fun. The stepping over looked a lot more daunting, particularly because it was just, again, it was very wet and mossy everywhere, so all the rocks were pretty slick to begin with, so...
Very not jagged, but very uneven rocks as well.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know what to expect with my footing, but he made it.
Totally fine.
That was nice.
Yeah.
So we explored Pedestal Rocks. Towards the end of our hike, I think you looked off the edge and you were like, oh, that looks like a cave.
Yeah.
So we found a way to descend and we went down and we were exploring these caves, which were super cool. Not advertised. I didn't think we were going to be able to see caves there, but it was underneath the Pedestal Rocks. And then at one point, Matt made a comment like, ooh, I could explore this for hours. Don't threaten me with a good time. It was almost sundown, like the sun was going to go down in like 30 minutes. And Matt's like, well, at sundown, we have a piston in the car. And I'm like, we have flashlights. So we kept exploring just for a little bit.
We.
Huh?
We
what?
have flashlights?
Yeah, we had a flashlight. So
someone's prepared.
We kept exploring for a little bit, and then the path just naturally started taking us back to the truck, so that was probably a good thing. At that time, we hiked back through the forest after the sun went down. It was spooky.
It got creepy. It was cool, but it was creepy. It was very Blair Witch-esque.
Yes.
Super dense fog.
Yes.
Getting darker and darker. I knew we had like, so I think it was a mile in and a mile out to make the full loop. So we had just started the walk back. So yeah, we still have a mile to go. It's getting dark. It got very dark. And we got back to the truck like as it was night.
Yeah. I got a really cool picture of you though. I took a picture of Matt in front of me in the pitch black, and my phone was on night mode, so it takes like 2 seconds to capture the picture, and he had moved, so he looks like a ghost. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So that was Ozarks. Again, wish we would have spent more time there. Yes, and then we had to drive. Did we go to a camp? Where did we sleep after that? It's funny that this is just like 2 days ago.
I think that was the night that we spent at the rest stop. No? Or was that Cracker? That was Cracker Barrel first time?
No, that was Texas.
I don't know. I just remember almost hitting the deer.
We drove to wherever after the Ozarks, and it was pitch black again, dense fog again. Honestly couldn't see 10 feet in front of the truck.
That was the campground at the rest stop, because we went to the rest stop campground to Nashville.
Okay, you're right.
For sure.
So I don't know where we slept the night before that, but it doesn't really matter. We made our way to our camp spot. It was like an hour of complete fog. Couldn't see anything. Then we went to Nashville. We drove to Nashville to meet my friend, Max, who I had met a couple years ago because of an astrology reading. He lives in Nashville. We met online. Someone gifted me a reading from him, and me and Max just became fast friends. We're both into astrology. We both kind of have similar world views, spiritual views and all that stuff, and we just kind of clicked. So that was really nice. We finally got to meet in person, which was cool. We took a nice little hike in his stomping grounds, went off the beaten path again, went off trail with Piston, got to, I don't know, just connect with a dear friend. So that was really nice. And then we made our way back towards Chicagoland as much as we could. That was last night. We tried again to use the Overlander app to take us to a semi-cool place, because last night we had to stay near Indianapolis. I wanted to go through Indianapolis last night so we didn't have to start in dense traffic this morning. And the iOverlander app was only showing us stuff like Cracker Barrel parking lot, Walmart parking lot, rest stop. But I was able to find this park where there's like a stream, which gives us, something a little bit more fun to look at other than a parking lot. So we went there, but it was construction, so we couldn't stay there last night. So we moseyed our way over to a Cracker Barrel. This morning, while we were getting ready, we recorded a video that was touring the travel trailer. So in the next, I don't know how long it'll take me, but I'll edit that all together so you guys can get a tour of the travel trailer. Feel free to comment on this video with any questions that you have for us about traveling, about doing these impromptu trips, about nomad life. Let us know what you want to know about. Feel free to comment whatever. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. have any parting words before we hop off? He's paying attention to the road. Let's see, does Piston have any parting words? He says if you guys have any treats, feel free to send them over to Mommy. Actually, I do have my Amazon wish list. That's available in the description in my link tree. So if you want to send Piston some treats, there are some dog treats on the wish list, right? Cool. Thanks for watching. I'll see ya sometime.